This is WSLS 10 at 11.
Now at 11, a standoff tonight in Roanoke, what police are telling us.
Nothing like this has really ever happened before to me or my family, thankfully. But so we'll just deal with it as best we can and try to move forward.
Well, a massive fire destroys a home in Bedford County. What the family is saying tonight about their loss and the issues the fire department ran into while trying to put the flames out.
And remembering a music icon, thousands across the country mourning the loss of Prince. Good evening and thank you for joining us for WSLS 10 at 11. I'm John Carlin.
And I'm Lindsay Ward. We're following a developing story tonight out of northeast Roanoke. Police are at the scene of a home on Ridge Run Drive where a man has barricaded himself inside.
And that's where our very own Rob Manch is tonight. He joins us now live. So Rob, what can you tell us? Bring us up to date.
Well, hey there, John. I'm actually standing about a block away from Ridge Run Drive where police are currently stationed. They've asked us not to show any video of the scene, but I can give you what we've learned so far. Police tell me that the man in that house called 911 this evening around 6:15, sounding agitated, and then when officers responded to the house, he made threats against himself and the police officers refusing to come out. Now, since we've been here at the scene, we've seen police in riot gear. We've seen agents with the Department of Alcohol, Tobacco, and firearms, all armed with assault rifles. Police tell me it's just a precaution. They're trying to keep everybody safe because they don't know if the man in that house is armed and if he's dangerous and intending to hurt somebody. But of course, we'll keep you guys updated on this situation online and on Virginia Today, which begins at 5 a.m. In Roanoke, Rob Manch, WSLS 10.
All right, thank you, Rob. And just to reiterate that, we will continue to follow the story and bring you the updates during the newscast as they become available. When we're not on the air, make sure to head to our website, WSLS.com, and tune in tomorrow morning to Virginia Today, starting at 5 a.m.
New at 11 tonight, Virginia State Police have preliminarily now identified the body found in the Shenandoah National Park as that of the paramedic firefighter Nicole Middendorf. Police say the medical examiner will have to confirm the identity through an autopsy, but the search for Nicole was called off this afternoon after the remains were found in a remote location more than a mile from the White Oak Canyon parking area. That's where investigators found Nicole's car over the weekend. She was reported missing on Friday after she didn't show up to work at the Fairfax County Fire and Rescue Department. Now, police do not suspect foul play due to evidence they collected, including a note that was found in her car.
New tonight, a man has been arrested and charged with felony child neglect after a 2-year-old girl was found dead after being left in a hot car. Fairfax County Police say 32-year-old Daquan Fields, the boyfriend of the toddler's mother, was supposed to drop off 3 children at 2 locations. Police say he dropped off a 10- and 15-year-old and returned home with the toddler still in the back seat. Fields found the girl unresponsive when he went back out to the car several hours later.
Apparently there's a break in the normal routine, and that's why he was taking the children yesterday. He got back home and forgot, apparently, about the little girl. Not realizing she was still in the car, he went inside.
The 2 other children are staying with a relative during the investigation.
And a family in Bedford is working to put together their lives after losing an historic home to a fire.
And this is dramatic cell phone video of that fire taken by the owner's son, Caleb Tomas. Today, the building, first built in 1829, stands in ruins. Caleb's brother, Judson, says the family's reaction is unanimous.
Just kind of stunned. It's hard to look at and see everything that, you know, kind of your memories there that are sort of gone.
That fire began at 10 o'clock last night. Crews arrived at the scene 11 minutes after they got the call, but they say the fire quickly became too much to manage without a consistent water source nearby. The Bedford fire chief says that he finally told his men to stop fighting the fire for their safety, and we have now since learned that the house was not insured, and so this will be a total loss for the family.
As a total loss, unfortunately, yes, sir. Yeah, I haven't done a lot of digging through stuff, but from what I can see, there's not a whole lot in there that could be saved.
The owner, Don Tomas, and his wife are now staying at their daughter's home in Bedford. The family has started an account on the website CrowdRise to raise some money to cover their costs. The proposed cut to the Martinsville Fire Department's budget could create a deadly situation, but the city manager says there is no other option. The city is planning to cut the department's upcoming budget by 5%. Now, this could potentially put the fire department in a situation where they don't have enough firefighters to be able to go into a building and save someone. The city manager says the reversion study the city did several years ago alluded to this cut.
It was pretty well laid out that somewhere around the 2017-2018 year, there would be some rather significant issues with both funding and expenses.
City Council is expected to approve the city's budget at the next council meeting.
Meanwhile, a student at Byrd High School is facing 2 felony charges after making alleged threats to the school. Police say threatening messages were found in the girls' bathroom on April 7th and the 18th. And in response to the numerous threats made at the high schools throughout Roanoke County, including a bomb threat made today at Byrd, police say they'll be stepping up patrols in the schools. Meanwhile, the school board members met today to address these issues, and the chairman, Mike Ray, says that he believes these threats are copycat threats, and despite students' intentions in making them, he says punishment will be severe.
You know, it's going around in this state, it's going around in this state, and so let's do it in Virginia, let's do it in Roanoke, Virginia. And unfortunately, they don't think about the consequences, because the consequences can be, you know, vary from expulsion to certainly criminal charges.
Similar threats have been made at schools in the NRV as well, and police say their main priority following the threats is keeping your children safe. Radford police say that they have bomb-sniffing dogs and also investigators dedicated to fingerprint and handwriting analysis. And regardless of the credibility of a threat, officers say they do want to dedicate all the resources they have available to their investigations.
Regardless of the incident, you know, the #1 concern is safety, making sure that the students, faculty, everybody's safe in that process. So that's our #1 concern when it comes down to it.
Officers say charges against the person responsible can range from assault to terrorism. And the nation is mourning the loss of a music icon, Prince.
Tonight, fans of the pop star paying tribute and sharing their memories of the singer.
Investigators say Prince was found unresponsive in an elevator at his home in Minneapolis. The 57-year-old was hospitalized last week, so-called with the flu, sparking rumors about his health. We have the latest tonight from Janelle Klein.
Music fans around the world are reacting to the loss of music icon Prince. The body of the 57-year-old singer was discovered this morning at his home in suburban Minneapolis. He was pronounced dead a short time later, and no further details are known about the cause of death. Nearby, outside of Prince's Paisley Park studios, a small group of fans assembled in the rain to honor the artist's memory.
I think he was just a really beautiful individual. He's so creative and full of life that I have a really hard time understanding that he's dead.
The singer's death comes just a week after his last concert at Atlanta's Fox Theater. Inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2004, the man born as Prince Rogers Nelson was one of the most influential and acclaimed musicians of his time.
You know, I'm a musician. I live for that. I live for playing and creating songs.
The singer, songwriter, and instrumentalist sold more than 100 million records worldwide. One of his biggest hits made the lyric "Party Like It's 1999" an ingrained part of pop culture. Tonight, Prince's influence is being mourned around the globe by fans and peers alike.
He was definitely an original and a one-of-a-kind. There truly was only one Prince.
In New York, many gathered to grieve.
I have no words. It's not real.
And to celebrate the legacy of a music legend and innovator who sometimes seemed larger than life. Janelle Klein, NBC News.
The director of the FBI hinted that the Bureau paid more than $1 million to break into the locked iPhone of one of the San Bernardino shooters. At an event in London, FBI Director James Comey said the FBI paid an unidentified third party more money than he'll earn in his remaining 7 years as director. The FBI director's salary is $183,000 a year. Comey did not give a precise number, but said he thought the payment was, quote, worth it.
A new report on how the Salem VA Medical Center prioritizes claims is sparking some controversy. The Inspector General received an anonymous complaint that staff was processing newer appeals before handling older, sometimes more complicated cases. The report reveals that almost 13,000 veterans at the Salem VA have pending appeals, and now veterans are demanding answers.
There needs to be accountability and transparency in regards to what's being done to make sure not only does this not happen again, but what's being done currently at the Roanoke Regional Office to make sure for Roanoke veterans that are currently stuck in the system that their claims are being processed.
We asked the Salem VA what it is doing to fix the issue, and the director of the regional office says it is placing more tenured staff members on the appeals team.
The man responsible for flying a gyrocopter onto the Capitol lawn will spend the next 120 days in jail. 62-year-old Douglas Hughes pled guilty to operating the aircraft without a license. In April of last year, Hughes flew the aircraft from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania to Washington, D.C. He says the flight was meant to call attention to the influence of big money in politics. Back here at home, less than 6 months after it was announced Justin Fuente would take over as head coach at Virginia Tech, he and his family are getting settled into their new hometown, Blacksburg.
And WSLS 10 sat down for an exclusive interview with Coach Fuente and his wife, Jenny, to talk about the adventures that they've been on in the New River Valley, their 3 young daughters, and also, of course, the university that they now call home.
The Hokie Nation is a real thing. It's not just a term. It really is a group of people that are together, that really believe in the VT and take a great amount of pride in it.
I feel like everybody in Blacksburg's been to the game except for us. So we're looking forward to being a part of all that too. So
you can catch that full interview tomorrow morning on WSLS 10 Virginia Today, starting at 5 a.m.
The people, they're used to it. And that was when they started asking, you know, were we going to have it? But everybody's been very helpful and kind.
Strawberry lovers can still get their fix this year in Bedford County. Why the widow of J.D. Scott says the Strawberry Festival will go on as planned this year.
And we want to remind you about our upcoming Shred-a-thon. The event starts on Monday, April 25th in Lexington. Come to Schules anytime between 6 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon to get your unwanted documents destroyed for free.